myself. Oh no, give me that cell. I gotta go like Cobain. 8 years to the grave, gone insane. My blood got propane. How you gon' go and throw my name with shame? Already cross-faded, making it to the disco. I hate it, and you know how this goes. You framed it, picture painted in my room. This that real life shit, none of Zoom, got the scene in it.
Make sure you subscribe to JerCrispy.
What's up, y'all? Shout out to the most death, the most JerCrispy. Welcome back to another video. I'm gonna try to pronounce this wrong, but fuck it. Syndrome? Or Syndrome? Whatever the nigga name is. Syndrome? Whatever your name. Syndrome. That's what I'm gonna call you. Syndrome is working for the NSA Incredibles. Syndrome? I never knew how to pronounce that nigga name. Still don't know how to pronounce that nigga name. Y'all see the wonderful things that y'all gotta be watching next after this. So yeah, let's go ahead and get to this reaction. Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. Nice, good orange right there. That's a nice, good orange juice. Yeah. Yo, what the fuck? Hey! Yo, let's stop. Bro. Come on, man. Click the video, man. All this bullshit playing around at home. All that shit, man. Hey. Come on, man. Bro, this video. It's playing with me, man. Shit playing with me. Bitch, come on. Trying to get to video. And shit. Trying to get on to the next one, bro. You're slowing me down. Hurry up. My God. At least you doing some shit like this. Why? Just why? Anyways, let's see.
Incredibles is one of my favorite pieces of media, to be honest, with some of the most interesting, mature stories found in it for an animated kids movie. Like, stuff happens in this movie that I can't say on YouTube, like this, without getting demonetized. That's a commentary on something, whether this movie or YouTube. The crazier thing, though, is not the themes or the writing or even the plot, but instead, the lore. These movies, mainly the first one, a newly discovered piece of lost media in the DVDs called the NSA tapes, with even more lore, and this psychopath were just begging for me to make a theory. Also, you know, money. See, the internet's been going through a little frenzy.
I was gonna watch that, but I was like, damn. I was like hesitating to watch that because I was like, damn, bro. Like, do I really want to sit there and watch that and stuff like that? And so, but we'll go back and watch it if y'all want me to watch it, bro. Dead ass, I'll watch it down on the line when I get the chance to. Because I had other stuff I was watching.
Talking with the Incredibles, but mainly because the NSA tapes. I think this is probably because this guy exists.
Oh, the real. Nah, speaking of you had my whole computer shut down last time. It was a certain video. I didn't even watch that video because you shut down my whole computer. You ain't slick, nigga.
Kicker is I get these dames, man, these dame villains, and they got the curves and the hair and the big eyes, and boy, those ones, they're really, really hard to kill.
So, what was this movie rated again? Yeah, so these tapes show off some very concerning heroes. Not all bad, but a large amount of them have problems such as alcoholism, an ego that rivals Homelander, and a power infinitely stronger than him, which is the real scary part, a guy with anger issues that can cause citywide earthquakes, and way worse. These tapes are from the NSA, which is the National Security Agency.
Hold on, go back. This nigga low-key was a fanboy. This nigga was fanned out for Mr. Incredible, bro. That nigga's talking about, yes, I wanted to be your sidekick. Like, nigga, the fuck, that nigga didn't want you as a sidekick. That's why this nigga turned to a villain.
and way worse. These tapes are from the NSA, which is the National Security Agency, are just really interesting pieces of lore. And taking some of the information in mind with some previous theories back in the day, also piecing them together with Incredibles 2, no matter if I like that movie or not. And I think I actually have some concrete proof that Syndrome, the tech genius villain of Incredibles, is working for the NSA. Don't believe? Let me explain.
Right.
Syndrome's plans in the end was to kill each super with his Omnidroid using their weaknesses against them, training the bot as it goes, and even planning based on their weaknesses on how the bot will fight them. We know this because the first time the Omnidroid fights Mr. Incredible, it fights him like he's Frozone, who was originally going to be on the island, taking him to a halt volcano where his powers would not work, and using heat as his main weapon. My main question though is how Syndrome had these weaknesses. Well, the easiest option is he had the NSA files on the supers, which included all their weaknesses. And it seems the DVD kind of proves this, to be honest, as the formatting and design for how the files look and the computer they're on looked exactly like Syndrome's. And that does fall in line with how Mr. Incredible discovered the list of dead supers being on Syndrome's computer. Really, to be honest, the easiest part of this theory is that Syndrome definitely has the NSA files. The question is, why? Well, one solution is he stole them. Mirage seems very capable of infiltrating places such as the insurance agency Bob worked for and is the recruiter for Syndrome, so maybe she just weaseled her way into some top secret government facility and found access to some documents and slipped them over to him. But something about that just seems weird. Like there's something more than just Mirage stealing for him, because I don't feel like they're stolen. How about we look back at some things Syndrome and Mirage have said when talking about their connection to the government. Mirage specifically says to Mr. Incredible in one scene that according to the government, her and Syndrome do not exist. But that doesn't seem, well, right. Because not only does Syndrome contradict this statement proudly, saying he's been an arms dealer for multiple nations, supplying his super-like tech in an era of superless governments, but it also seems very much likely that the NSA would have to be a part of.
Go back to that scene real quick. Hello. Go back to that scene real quick. When they were all in court with this shit, hello.
And proudly saying he's been an arms dealer for multiple nations.
Right here. And this all confused me when I was little, bro. I was like, bro, why y'all niggas mad at Incredible? This nigga said y'all. Nigga, and then that nigga was like looking like
supplying his super like.
He was feeling bad. Nigga, y'all don't want to get on the fucking thing. Y'all don't got no cars? Y'all couldn't afford cars? Well, this y'all in the comments. Well, JerCrispy, all people just don't have money to just get a car. Some people just take the train. Nigga, what is you was taking the train at night? Oh, what? They just came from work. I'm like, okay, we get that though. Nigga, if you know you was in the hottest way and shit like that, you couldn't do nothing. So don't get mad at that nigga talking about, man, yeah, I'm gonna be mad at this nigga because he got me injured. Nigga, be mad at the villain. The fuck?
Tech in an era of superless governments, but it also seems very much likely that the NSA would have to be a part of all this, maybe not the whole murdering thing, but buying him as an arms dealer, especially with how the NSA seems to have a eye on him. See, in the end of the movie, Rick Dicker says the NSA has frozen all of Syndrome's assets, and once he moves an inch, they'll have him. This seems weird, as if Mirage is correct, this file they created on him, and the ability to freeze all his assets, were done in like 30 minutes. Mr. Incredible most likely explained what's going on to Rick in the car ride he told them they had Syndrome. That doesn't make sense. Someone has to be lying here, or at least the real truth behind their words isn't what we originally thought. Mirage's direct quote is, according to the government, neither of us exist. What if this line is not a line saying the government doesn't know about them, but instead the government is covering them up? Syndrome basically already confirmed he's dealing his tech to some nations, and I feel like the NSA has to be a part of that. I just don't buy that he wouldn't sell to the NSA, or the NSA doesn't know he exists. I firmly believe they have access to some of his tech, maybe say that memory wiper Rick uses is some Syndrome-made tech, or the countless other inventions they probably have. But is that the entire theory? Just that Syndrome is actually secretly selling to the NSA, and I guess the worst they did is not tell Bob and Helen? Well, no. See, I think there is far worse this agency has done than just buy some tech from him. I don't really buy that they weren't not a part of the whole murdering super things, and I actually think
I feel like they were just trying to frame him and trying to get good evidence so they could stop him doing the thing. Cause, like, bro, Mr. Shit. Mouth kind of dry. Pause. At one point, like Mr. Incredible is like feeling some type of way of not doing superhero stuff, being a regular dad and just going to job. Like he damn near fucking slammed his whole boss through the fucking wall. It was like the little midget, fat nose, big lip ass midget dudes. You know, we all got one of those type of bosses. You just want to just slam and throw. And then like him and his wife got an argument. He's talking about, man, I'm sick of this regular life. I just want to go back to be a superhero. And then he got his list and stuff like that. No, him and Frozone went to some like they went to something like a store, had masks, and it was like thinking they about to rob the place or some stuff like that and stuff. And then he froze it. He like, yeah, I just need a drink. And froze the dude, and he dipped out and stuff like that. And then I think that's when they invited him to the thing, and they were just trying to find out his weaknesses and stuff like that.
The contingencies he used to kill them were designed by them, and the supers he killed were also chosen by them. Because I believe the NSA was not just using Syndrome as an arms dealer, but a super assassin. Let me explain. The NSA, the National Super Agency, actually killing supers is very weird, especially when some of them were killed when supers themselves were legal. But even with that, most of them are killed when supers were illegal, which is still weird because why would you go after former employees and people who served your country as superheroes? It just doesn't make very much sense. Unless there's more to it that we're not currently understanding. Looking back at it, who was exactly killed by Syndrome is actually all supers the NSA would not want running around.
What if Syndrome did not die in the first movie though? What if Syndrome survived the crash and never died in the thing, and he turned out to be the villain in the third movie? Hey, that's a take. It's a take, man. It's a take. It's a take, my nigga. I'm taking it. Nah, Disney talk about, nah, we ain't not gonna do that. We're just gonna put another villain right there. I don't know.
Especially when supers are illegal. The easiest is Gazer Beam, who after supers went illegal became a super advocate fighting for super rights and becoming legal once more, and he also actively stayed a hero for a good while even when they were illegal, very much going against the NSA. These and a few other reasons I'm going to mention as a whole later on are plenty enough reason to take Gazer Beam out, as if you don't, he would never stop fighting for super rights and getting in the way of the NSA. The next easy kill is the very famous and probably why you clicked on this video, Gamma Jack. Jesus Christ, this man is crazy. Gamma Jack is an egotistical, crazy, sexist super supremacist with powers that could destroy an entire city like a nuke, give people cancer if they're around him for long enough, and the strength of Superman. This man, simply put, is a time bomb waiting to go off with an explosion that could level everything, and even the NSA files themselves say he is highly dangerous and to be closely watched, probably because the whole supers are superior thing and, you know, the NSA making them illegal. There are many other heroes in this verse that the NSA would probably want gone after supers are made illegal, from the guy with anger issues who can cause earthquakes and now his only outlet was taken away, or a super who was once a villain that they recruited and has a history of swapping sides. Heroes like that just kind of make sense to kill, or heroes like Gazer Beam who would fight the illegal status of him and fellow supers. It also seems that NSA probably had Mr. and Mrs. Dever assassinated, the parents of Winston Dever in Incredibles 2, mainly Mr. Dever, who was an active super rights activist and close friends with Gazer Beam, who was assassinated for the same reason, so maybe the NSA had him and his wife killed. Probably did. It makes way more sense than them somehow getting killed by two robbers who break into a 4-story mansion with high active security, and instead of just stealing, actively murder the people inside. But really, no matter what supers end up dead because of Syndrome, I think all of them kinda would benefit the government, mainly because of something Rick Dicker himself says. The reason why he couldn't help Bob anymore with the relocation thing. Money. Supers are just simply put too much work for the NSA, especially when they become literally illegal and aren't even benefiting them anymore. They randomly throw people through buildings, sometimes switch sides between good and evil, sometimes are just basically evil but still pretend to be a hero, and all cost them way too much money. The government simply...
So if you know you're a villain, right? And you just like, damn, let me just be a good guy for once and see how that goes. And then it go pretty well than being a villain. And what's the point of you being a villain in general? If you like the good guy, the good side better than the villain side. You know, and they always had them tragic stories. Yeah, man, I had like when I was little, man, I was getting picked on and bullied. Now, man, my friends, we were just riding bikes one day, man. We were just pedaling. Went to this mountain that we used to throw rocks. Fell in a lot of acid. Now I had superpowers. Like, nigga, the fuck? Nigga, get this lame ass nigga out of my fucking face.
Can't afford the collateral damage supers are causing in both their legal and illegal days. You have to remember the whole reason they're illegal is the NSA was sued by people who were saved by supers. The US government's national
I'm not gonna hold you. Mr. Credible, she could get it any day of the week. Just gonna keep it a buck with you, Mr. Credibles. That little nigga lying. You get some boy.
Agency had to be contracting out the genocide of supers and assassinating their supporters to Syndrome to stop the overspending on supers who aren't even legal anymore. But I also think there's a more personal and intact reason why the government is doing all this. In the words of Screenslaver, you are no longer in control. They are. That is what Screenslaver says to the people when supers first return and she's fighting Elastigirl. And that's what the NSA fears. Losing control over the supers and losing control of their people to them. Supers aren't even legal yet, and people are just happy and glad they're back as Elastigirl goes on talk shows breaking the law. What will they do to beings who can level cities with anger issues, or walking cancerous atomic bombs who believe they are the superior race, other than try and quietly get rid of them with the one guy who supposedly can? Syndrome. And that's why Syndrome is allowed to do all these assassinations. See, out of all the heroes the NSA would want dead the most, Mr. Incredible himself would be on top of
I ain't gonna hold you. And the Secretary Syndrome, she could get it too, man. I'm not gonna hold you. Man, look at that cake. Anyways.
list. He's the very reason why supers are illegal, the cause of a major amount of lawsuits that cost the NSA millions of dollars, and of course is Syndrome's greatest enemy. But for some reason, it didn't seem like the NSA had any plans to go after him until Syndrome found him himself. And I think I know why. While I wholly believe the NSA and Syndrome are working together and are way more anti-super than they should be, I still believe that Rick...
Yo, I had Loki in my middle school, they had a nigga look just like Syndrome. Big ass head, hair like this. I don't know what day that was when I saw that nigga. Bro, that was like one time thing I saw that nigga. I ain't never see that nigga again, bro. I think he was a grade below me. Some nigga had big ass head, built like that nigga Syndrome on some shit. I don't know. That nigga name was fucking Jack or some shit. I don't even know why they call that nigga Jack.
Has a soft spot for the Pars, specifically Bob. Now, whatever that may be, probably because he's helped him for the longest, or was a close friend before supers were illegal, it is very clear he doesn't want to kill Mr. Incredible or his family. The greatest evidence of this is that Syndrome doesn't know that Mr. Incredible was A, married to Elastigirl, or B, even had kids. This is information the NSA should have given him, especially with his hatred for Mr. Incredible, unless someone like Rick withheld it. But I sadly don't believe that it ends there, as no, the NSA simply put couldn't let any super, but especially Mr. Incredible run.
Oh yeah, that's definitely fine shit right there, right here. Hold on, go back.
As no, the NSA simply put couldn't let any.
Yeah, she was fine shit too when I was little. I'm not gonna hold you. But damn, so hold the whole time, dude, the big ass no ass nigga that look like the dude off of was working along with Syndrome. He a fuck nigga too. Fuck that boy.
Super, but especially Mr. Incredible run around causing so many problems, from revealing who he was, or at least using his strength in so many occasions, to literally being a vigilante. He had to be stopped for good. But maybe that doesn't mean having to kill him. Well, until Syndrome found him and used him for his personal grudge. But NSA-wise, I'm sure they had ways to discourage Mr. Incredible from his illegal path without taking him out. What if instead of taking Mr. Incredible out, the plan was to take out someone close to him, being Frozone, who he got into being a vigilante? We know the original target was Frozen, as Mirage made it clear they were changing targets, and the original bot was made for Frozone, taking him to a volcano, and on the computer with the status of supers, he is missing because they were after him. The best piece of evidence that this is Dicker's exact plan comes from himself actually, though.
You weren't much help.
Of the hole, first you gotta put down the shovel.
That's what Dicker says to Mr. Incredible after doing another time of illegal vigilantism.
That's
time
crazy.
and time again, he tries to help him, to find a way to get him to put down that shovel and be a father, not a super. But he can't, so he gives the task to Syndrome. And it would have done perfectly if Syndrome wasn't Syndrome. Now, the one weird thing of note that I have not mentioned is the potential that the NSA is working with other villains than just Syndrome. See, one thing that simply never made sense was supervillains in the Incredible universe, and more importantly, where they went when supers went illegal. We see them when supers are illegal, fighting Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl, and well, we hear of them a bunch in extra material, so like, we know they exist, and we see them immediately when the powers come out of hiding, like a day or so later, and after like a week later after that, we immediately have
God damn! Low-key, low-key believe this is true, deadass. Like, that nigga was deadass was trying to stop this nigga to be somebody freaking a superhero. That nigga might be the reason why them niggas couldn't have been superheroes no more. That nigga was trying to let that nigga be a regular dad. Like, but that nigga said he hate to be a dad. Like, I mean, he love the kids, but now that dad, like, sucks. It sucks. It really does sucks. In general, it sucks. Like, as a superhero and stuff like that, but I ain't gonna hold you though. You know what's the most funniest scene though out of this? Number one, honey, what is my super suit? I don't know. Where's it? Honey, where's my super suit? You gonna listen to me, women? And he's talking about this is for the greater good. She's talking about I'm your wife. I'm the only thing that should be greater good. The people needed me. I need you.
Wide plot with the screenslaver, so my question is, where were they for 15 years? Why did the supervillains also go into hiding when the NSA made supers illegal? The whole thing with supervillains is they break the law. Well, it would make sense if the supervillains are working for the NSA just like the supers. Okay, here's my batshit crazy theory, let's go. The NSA has a bunch of supers on payroll to stop villains and even petty theft like a beginning of Incredibles. This isn't because they have a rapid supervillain problem though, as they also have supervillains on payroll too to challenge the supers and in return give the NSA control over how the people perceive them. No matter what, I think what the NSA wants is control of its people, and it uses supers to create that by having them fight supervillains, winning, and because they're working for the government, bringing more wins to them. Remember, this is Cold War era America. America pride is like a big thing and very much something the NSA is investing in, making sure its people feel protected because supers and well the NSA have their back. It unites them all on a villain attack because Elastigirl is there to save them, or Mr. Incredible, or Frozone, or even Gamma Jack. The fact they're willing to hire Syndrome to actually kill supers show their morals are non-existent.
So
and well,
basically, as we can sum this up because the video about to be over, basically the dude from earlier who was trying to tell dude to dig up his stuff was getting Syndrome to kill all these superheroes one by one and trying to find their weakness. So that's why they was taking them on their islands and getting they killed by one. Like, you see how this dude died in a cave? That dude, one of them dudes died from cave. One of them other dudes, I remember there's something, like, it was some reason how they all died and stuff like that. It's like... It's crazy. But dude was like, damn, I can't kill Mr. Credible, Mrs. Credible, and Frozone. That's a trio.
They have a history of using dangerous heroes or villains turned into heroes as basically public celebrity soldiers. But when supers began to, of course, cause problems and cost them money, getting out of the goodwill of the people and while hurting the NSA, they were swiftly made illegal, and all those supervillains, well, were dealt with. Whether they were killed off, or paid off, or just made sure they would stop somehow, the NSA managed to get control of the situation with the help of Syndrome. But then Syndrome goes off the deep end and lays an entire attack on a whole city, and even that he tries and fails, letting supers save the day. And now, well, supers are back in the goodwill of the people and loved once more. But times have changed, and because the NSA took a strong stance on being anti-super, people are against the NSA and pro-super, taking control from the US government and putting it into fully rogue illegal superheroes. This is not good, and they will try everything they can do to stop it. So they do villain attacks, blame them for damage to the public, and try to paint them in every perceivable way as the bad
like,
guy.
what do you expect as a superhero? Like, you supposed to, oh yeah, I'm supposed to fucking fix the thing after a fucking weird ass alien or a weird ass nigga just wanted to be getting this nigga some fucking supervillain powers or some shit out of that? You want me to fucking come here and help you brick by brick, like on some Frank Samuel, whatever the nigga name, or off of Snowfall, talking about some. I did this brick by brick. You think I'm supposed to help you out? Nigga, I am a superhero. Nigga, I will beat your ass up and go home. Like, come on now.
But for some reason, Saul Goodman's helping them, so the NSA isn't doing great. Until someone comes knocking on that door and asks to help. But before that, I like to prove that the NSA is even worse than we thought. Don't believe me?
Damn.
Let me explain. See, you would assume the extent of Syndrome and the NSA working together stops at a straight attack of a major city with a giant robot, as that feels a step above what we've done before, right? They wouldn't actually approve of the attack. No, that's crazy. Right? No, they wouldn't do that, would they? It does seem kinda like they did. We don't see any police try to stop them, and way more importantly, no military action after multiple jets fly into the city and a giant robot appears, you know, in a major city in the US during the Cold War. The US government is probably in its most paranoid state it's ever been in, so you can't tell me for a second those jets and Omidroid and really Syndrome wouldn't get shot out of the sky like immediately. Think about it. Currently, to our best knowledge of the NSA, a large amount of supers have been killed by Syndrome, and their problem is kind of going away. What Syndrome's plan wasn't just to murder supers, it was to become the only super, as he sells tech to foreign nations to make money on the side. So maybe the NSA is actually on board with all of this, having one super who isn't even super completely working for them, and on board with the anti-super thing is super useful. As when Syndrome appeared, the people immediately grabbed onto him and were happy until he failed. Maybe this is because of tensions with foreign nations, again, Cold War, or maybe it's because Syndrome threatened to sell to foreign nations they didn't like. Whatever it is, I believe for the sake of national security, pride, and uniting the people under one man, the NSA is perfectly worth maybe a few deaths and some property damage. Really, the only thing I think the NSA is not on board with is Syndrome losing and then dying to a jet turbine. Probably not planned. So, is this...
Mr. Credible, you got a lot of explaining to do. Cause I've been thinking about this as a little kid to now, bro. Let's go back for that little split moment. Man, that's your kid, bro. Nigga, that's your kid. Syndrome is your kid, man. That nigga got the strong chin just like you, man. Same hairstyle and all, man. That is your kid, bro. You want to be a deadbeat daddy. Nigga, that's that nigga kid, bro. That's that nigga kid. Y'all can't tell me no otherwise, son. That nigga, that's that nigga kid. Look at the head shape, got the hair and all, got the big ass chin. Well, that's that nigga kid, bro. That nigga want to play stepdaddy role now. And then when that nigga got older, nigga was paying child support. Nigga got another girl. He had another girl on the side. Don't let that nigga Credible. Then he finally found somebody to lay down and stuff with Mr. Credible.
Is the end to the NSA's
And I
plan?
see why.
Well, once again, no. As well, the NSA's plots don't exactly end in Incredibles 1 or any material before it. No, they're still plotting even after Syndrome is gone, with Screenslaver. See, in Incredibles 2, when Frozen convinces Elastigirl and Mr. Incredible that Winston Dever is all good and on their side, he says he trained under Dicker. That is normal and all good on the surface, but with his theory in mind, things get a little more interesting. But I also don't think it's as simple as Winston was actually evil too and just got away with it. No, I think it's way more complicated. See, Winston generally feels convincing in how he isn't a bad guy and very much seems to actually be pro-super. But there is someone else in his family who very much isn't, his sister. What if Richter tried to get him under his wing and secretly anti-hero like him in the NSA, but it just didn't work as he was too much like his father. The events of the NSA killing his father just simply pushed him more pro-super, but maybe not his sister, who is better known as the villain of Incredibles 2, with really the same mindset the NSA have had this entire time, her name being Screenslaver. I believe Screenslaver is actually just straight up take two by the NSA to make supers illegal for good. They most likely supplied her technology and maybe helped out the company in some way, as well many theorize the home Winston gave to the Pars was maybe one of Syndrome.
I'm listening, but she can get it too.
Well, the NSA did take over his assets, so it could have made sense. But unfortunately for the NSA, not even her plan worked out in the end, and the NSA basically fully failed in every attempt as supers became legal once more, this time not even on the NSA's leash. And that is really the end of the greatest Incredibles theory.
Alright, y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Make sure to comment, subscribe, follow us on social media, then pop on the screen. We'll see y'all when I see y'all. If y'all agree with what I said in half of these things, comment down below. See y'all when I see y'all. And I'm out. 300.